Hello and welcome back. I'm Lincoln, and today we're going to be making this on the iPad. This is a nice little key, and it's going to be part of a larger sculpting challenge I'm going to let you in on here in just a second. But first, I want to thank everyone that subscribed to the channel. I have over 200 subscribers now, and that's just amazing, so thank you guys. Alright, so what I have planned is October3D. It's going to be a sculpting challenge broken up into weeks, and you'll see here in just a second. I'll put the prompt list up now. Alright, you can see I have it all broken up, and it's just designed. It's kind of fun because we're doing 3D sculpts and not just drawings, so we can go through and take, mix and match, move things around if you want. But I planned on it to where by the end of the week you can make your own little scene and put something cool together if you want. You can totally mix this up and mash it up if you want, that's fine. The goal is just to get your iPad out and get sculpting for the month of October, just like any of the drawing challenges. Okay, so you'll see it there at the bottom. There's bonus sculpts that go along with each of the weeks. That'll add to the scene if you like. You can also see at the bottom there all the hashtags for Instagram. I'll be on there. I'm going to share my work, and if you guys are willing to share anything you guys have sculpted, please use the hashtag so I can find it. Okay, with all that said, the videos I'm going to make this month are going to be a little more raw, a little more unedited, and you'll see the style with this one we're going to do today right here. Okay, with all that said, let's get your iPads and let's make this key. Okay, let's go and dump this out and get rid of it. We'll delete that. We're going to add a cylinder. And pin that. Okay. Alright, pretty good right there. Alright. Add a box. Squeeze that down a little bit. Right. Yeah, looks good. Just gonna just play with the proportions until it looks right. Alright, nothing, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna make this a little bit longer. Quite that long. Okay, now we're gonna clone that one, the box, and squeeze it down. Slide it back in roughly. I was thinking about cloning it, it's the exact same shape, so you don't have to try and make the same thing again. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit bigger. Makes kind of a nice key end right there. Alright, we're going to clone that again. I'll pull this one out, and snaps at 45, so 2 will be fine. Slide it in, squeeze it down, squeeze it out so it'll cut all that perfect. I like that. I'm going to clone that again and rotate it. And now here you can make this perfect if you want. I'm just going to clone it and roughly spot it. Just close enough to be absolutely perfect. Those keys back in the day were not even close to perfect, so that'll be fine. Go in here before we start validating all these. Validate all this. Really doesn't matter too much. Validate them all. Okay, so this one and this one. Those two, we're going to go and box will merge them. Keep edges sharp. Let's increase it just a little bit to make sure it doesn't break the edges over. And these three are the boxes we want to cut out. I'm going to merge all of those. Keep your edges sharp. I like going a little higher just so it doesn't cut out. So got a nice little key in there. Perfect. Let's smooth that end off a little bit. We're going to add, oh, it was already in there. Add a spear. Bring it down. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. This one. Get it rough at its shape. Flatten it because I just want to make the edge a little rounder than it is. That looks much nicer. Now we'll go ahead and combine those two together. So the cylinder and the sphere. Box will merge those real quick. Doesn't matter. Whoop. Well, it doesn't look very good. Try it again. Keep edges sharp. We're gonna increase the resolution. That'll look better. There we go. That's better. You see, it didn't have all that nasty marking at the bottom, and it's got a little something going on. We could smooth that out a little. Knock the edges off. Subdivide a couple times, and good enough from a distance. If you want to smooth it a little more, you can. You have to do flatten. There we go. It's a little nicer. And you really wouldn't have to do this. It's going to be so small you'll never see it if you put it in your scene with the rest of everything for the sculpting challenge. You wouldn't even notice it, but that's okay. Just so you kind of see how it works. Alright, we're going to do a lathe turning on here, which is kind of cool. So we'll go to the lathe. I like using the path most of the time, and I just want to do just a sweep up here. It's the easiest way to do it, and you can do plenty of other details on it too. So I want those like that. I want those on purpose. And if you put those together, it'll just turn it as it is, just like that. Now we can edit it. So it's a little crazy. Kind of cool because you can do all kinds of details on here. I like using the lathe for this. It's pretty cool. Alright, so that'll look pretty nice. So we'll do that. Now to bring this into the origin, we'll go ahead and validate it. Click on Gizmo, go into the Symmetry tab, not Symmetry tab, sorry, Gizmo tab, hit Move to Origin. Now it goes right to the center of the world, but it's a little close to that. I want symmetry on here, so we'll roughly bring that in. About, yeah, there, looks good. Alright, I like it. So now the last detail, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. So we'll hit trim. No symmetry on there. We don't want that. We'll just trim this off somewhere in there. Whoops. Have to actually select that one, I suppose. There we go. Okay. Now if we're in the front, I guess I should redo that and make sure I'm in the right view. There we go. Now I'm leaving just a little tab there, and it really doesn't matter. We're going to add another box, which may seem a little weird because we're going to do the detail at the top, but you need something to put it onto, and you'll see what I mean here in just a second. Looks about right, maybe a touch wider. Alright, width doesn't really matter. I'm going to go and squeeze it. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Let's turn those off. Edit nodes off. Do that. It makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, validate it. We're going to go up to the nodes, subdivide it. Pretty crazy like. Now we're going to grab the layer brush, and you'll see in here one thing I'll show you on this. I've changed the alpha, and you can change the alpha to anything else, but I have a round alpha here, and you can go look at my playlist for that. I'll put it at the beginning of this video. So you'll see it makes a nice layer. That needs to be much bigger. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So there. That It's a little touchy because you don't want it too close. And we can fix what this does. It's a little flat like that. That'll work. It's perfect. So we're going to use spheres to fix all these contact points to make it look better. But first we're going to cut this off. And I'm going to go to the gizmo. We'll snap it to a side. I'm going to stretch it out because I want this portion right here. And depending on how much you stretch, you see you get some kind of weirdness going on there. Somewhere in there is probably good. And what we're going to do, snap this again, we'll trim. Sometimes you get to use trim, sometimes you get to use a split. We'll see what happens. Turn symmetry off, use rectangle select, and we're going to cut over in here. It'll take a second because it's high geometry. Off that. So it's good. It didn't try to fill in. Sometimes it tries to fill in like these little areas, but it didn't on that, so it's fine. So we'll click back over here, wait for it to save. Now it's easier to move this to roughly to the center when you go to put this together first than not. So we'll put it in here just like that. I love that. That looks really good. Okay, so now we're going to make a symmetrical portion. Now I'll show you something here. This is in the blue plane is what we want to do symmetry on, and the easiest way to see that is when you click to the left side. It's telling you you're using left. So we'll turn that off and we'll use Z. And you go left to right mirroring, force it, yes. You can see there, we can just, oops, not that one. Do this one. So it doesn't want to, because it's clone, so we'll go back, we'll move this one over just a little bit more, do it again. There you go. Now the cool thing about doing it like that is you'll see you have what looks like a casting line, like where the draft line where they actually cast it for real. Kind of cool. So now we'll just add spheres to fix all those little spots, just add a little detail, and you can do whatever. I mean, you can clean those up, but doing this kind of filigree like that, it's easier just to add the spheres in here. Bring it up. Oops. I'll get it right in a second. Let's go and validate that one. And let's start up here. And I'll show you one or two, and then I'll show you one or two, and then we'll go faster. So a little bit bigger, and you just squeeze it out until it smooths it out, and it gives it a nice, cool little detail. Come up here, and now we're in the front plane, so it's showing you want red, which is what we want, left to right again, and there you go. Now with these, some of these you'll see if we just clone this and move it down, it gets a little weird because you have to use these instead of the move function. So it'll work, but it can get a little weird sometimes. So if it does, just put another sphere in, not a big deal. See there, that one gets a little, so it's like stretching out, which works because it looks cool right there. But if that's not the look you're going for, just put another sphere in. So it's starting to get a little wonky, but that's okay. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and bring another sphere in so it doesn't get too crazy looking. And there. I've noticed here that's a little weird, so we're going to adjust this a little bit. Turn off snapping. There we go. Had something a little weird there. I don't know what happened. Happens. Especially on the lathe if you don't check it sometimes. There we go. I must have bumped it somewhere along the way. Okay, so that pretty much makes your key. Now the last thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and paint it. So we'll just come up with paint and let's make it, get a cool copper key. Paint all. Oops. I guess it would help if we select everything. Paint all. There you go. You can age this thing and do whatever you want to do to it, which is fine. Last thing I'll show you if we just want to rotate. Dang it. Paint. There we go. Glove doesn't always stop everything. So let's adjust that just a little bit. You can zoom in. Now if you want to rotate and kind of see what this looks like, come over to the main menu, hit turntable, and you get a nice one. Now I don't know if this option is in the older version. I have 1.66 going, so that might not work, but there you go. There's your key. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching this and followed along. If you want, I've got the sculpting challenge I mentioned earlier in the video, and please follow along. Use the hashtags on Instagram to share anything you sculpt. Alright, hope to see you guys out there. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Alright, thanks.